Hi, my name is Brittany Andrade, and I am the Arts and Entertainment Editor for Grand Central Magazine, and we are back for another episode of Bingeables. If you're wondering what Bingeables is, that's a good question. You can go to our first episode and see what we talked about, but basically we get college students together from CMU, and we talk about what we like to binge that's arts and entertainment related. So what music do you like? What movies? What TV shows do you just binge straight through? We're going to talk to two students today. One is returning, Katie, and we have L'Oreal with us today.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about some things that we like to binge. The theme for this week is things that remind you of summer.
Ooh.
How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. It was hard to think of things that I binged during the summer. So, I guess we can get into it.
Cool. I was going to say, yeah, we're coming up on it. We're about to be in finals week. By the time you all will see this, we'll be in finals week, but we're getting mighty close to the end here.
Yeah, wish us luck.
Yeah, honestly. Keep your fingers crossed for us.
Right. All the luck you can get.
Honestly. Well, Katie, do you want to start us off?
Sure.
Nice.
All right. So, I have a couple things that remind me of summer, but the one major thing that reminds me of summer is Panic at the Disco, big time. Because I remember, let's see, the first time I heard them, it was summer for me, because I had just graduated high school. I started with Vices and Virtues, and that was in June, so I'm just like, that was the first memory I've had of them. Then that progressed into Death of a Bachelor, and I love that a lot. I think that came out May-ish. I can't remember when it came out, but I know it was around summertime. And then definitely their most recent album, Pray for the Wicked, that came out in June, excuse me. It came out in June. I saw them in July, but it came out in June.
Oh my gosh, you got to see them in concert?
Actually, I got to see them twice.
Oh my gosh.
I saw them July 14th at Little Caesars Arena.
Oh, that's my grandma's birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Right.
Yeah, I saw them July 14th with a friend. It was really cool, but I was all the way at the top, second bowl, so I couldn't see very well, but it was my first Panic concert, and that was amazing. Just, hang out in the summertime and got work off and just enjoy myself. It was really cool. I saw them in January on the 29th. We had all the snow days.
Oh, yeah.
I braved the cold to go get front row.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
That's dedication.
and I mean front row tickets. Like, you can't pass that up.
My friend literally bought these front row tickets the week after we saw them in July, and she's like, "You want to go again?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'll go again."
Oh my goodness.
round two.
So we got the front row seats. I went in January, and I actually got to technically meet Brendan Urie because he came out during his Death of a Bachelor.
Who
Death
is that?
Walk.
Is that the lead singer?
He's the lead singer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, he's technically the only soul member left of Panic at the Disco.
Oh, wow.
He's the main guy. So he comes out during his Death of a Bachelor Death Walk, and he goes and greets his fans and stuff like that. And he came out on our side. My friend didn't believe me, and I'm just like, I told you he's coming out on our side. He held my hand for a good solid 30 seconds, and it was probably the best 30 seconds of my life.
Oh,
that's a long time.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No.
I was like, 30 seconons isn't a joke.
Literally, it's one of my favorite memories of all time. And then the lady behind me literally had to grab me because I was about to pass out. And she was like, "Do you need water? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could die right here and I'd be fine."
Oh man. Yeah, and Brendan Urie, he is so talented.
He's such a gem. What a great human.
Yeah, his vocal range, I didn't really know who he was. I follow a lot of Broadway stuff. I didn't really know that he was the lead singer of Panic at the Disco until I saw he was, I think, in Kinky Boots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlie Price.
Yeah, and I didn't really know a ton about him, and then I saw that he was from Panic at the Disco, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool that this pop star is coming in to take on this role. And his his voice.
He's the singer, the lead singer that sings that song, The True Singer, earlier.
Yeah,
that does remind me of summer for sure.
Yeah,
for
High
sure.
Hopes and Say Amen Saturday Night. And my graduation cap is literally gonna be the lyrics from Hey Look Ma, I Made It.
Oh my goodness.
In honor of my mom.
Aww.
So
Are
you gonna put glitter and little mini
course.
caps and stuff on it?
Of course,
customize it.
Literally, I'm gonna have a black background and then white. I'm gonna put Hey Look Ma, I Made It, and I'm gonna have the Panic logo in dead center.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I'm gonna have a Bible verse on the side because both my mom and my grandma passed away from cancer, so they won't be with me when I graduate, but they'll be with me when I graduate.
That's sweet.
Oh man, oh man.
Just honor my promise to my mom before she passed, and I'm gonna finish college and hey, look, Mom, I made it.
Right, finally, right.
Oh my goodness,
Got me thinking about what I'm gonna put on my cap.
Right, I graduate in May. Next week I graduate literally on Saturday.
Oh my god!
A week.
honestly, but also many tears.
Right.
Man, oh man, that is so cool though. I love those moments when you're at a concert where like where the artist is just vibing with everyone that's in the room.
Yeah.
Like when DNCE came to CMU last year, I think, or was it the year before? Year before, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool because like Joe Jonas and like his whole crew, like they were just so energetic and they were up in the front, and like we got there, me and my friend, we got there pretty early so that we could be in the front. And Joe Jonas like was singing right to my camera.
Oh wow.
And like and I was like,
right, yeah.
like I'm getting all of this right now in real time. And it was just so cool. But like it's those moments that like that where like the artist doesn't feel super removed, you know, from the people that they're
much more
with.
Connected to them, and you realize that they're a real person. Like I can touch you for real.
And now he's back with the Joe Bros and getting married and doing that whole thing.
Right, life goes on.
Right. But yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco, man.
What a man.
What a time.
What a man.
All right, Lo, what about you?
You know, as I began to think about it, a couple of artists and just music first came to mind. I'm a huge music junkie, so I just began to think of like the windows down and like in the car with my friends, and thinking the first song that came to mind was Janet Jackson, "Feel So Right." It's from her All For You album. I think it's like late 90s. This came out maybe like early 2000s. But it's just like super upbeat, and it's like you want to have your hair down. It's like the wind is blowing, and you might have like a slushie in the car, and you know what I'm saying? It's like that roller skating type of feel, and it was just really like that free spirit kind of music. So yeah, that definitely came to mind, but really just anything upbeat. You know, anything I feel like I can move to. Anything that my friends and I can dance to and kind of have conversations about. So yeah, I'm just, you know, anything that makes me feel fun and I want to get up and get out. I think the summertime brings out such a like this beautiful streak in people where it's just like you want to get out and socialize and talk and drink and laugh. And so, yeah, I think that I can't wait for that. You know, because I'm kind of tired of all these layers and, you know, I want to go swimming and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the summertime.
Yeah, we're over this Michigan winter.
Yes,
it can take a seat.
Yes.
But yeah, I love, like, whenever I think of Janet Jackson, I mean, I think of like Michael and like the Jackson 5 and all of that. And like, I just remember being in the car with my mom too, and like us rolling like our like the top thing in our car down and just like playing it and like A B C, you know, just going for it.
Yeah, and really just vibing with the music. I love that.
Yeah, it's just so much fun, and like thinking about all this stuff really like gets you in the mood for summer too. Like me and some of my friends, we went swimming at the CMU pool up here in the SAC, and it was just so much fun. And all of us came out of the pool and we were like, we're coming back into like 50-degree weather. Like we're all cold and we were just
freezing.
and we were just feeling so warm because like we went into the pool, then the sauna, then the hot tub, then the pool. It's like we were like ready for summer. We were already there.
Cold outside.
Literally, and then we came back outside and we immediately went, oh no, you know.
Worst. Oh my
man, oh
goodness.
man.
I'm so over Michigan weather, and it was nice the other day. Like I had on sandals.
And the sun was shining.
Yes.
The wind wasn't too cold.
No,
like
it was perfect. It was
perfect.
And now it's down to 59. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, and
Try
like
not to get
apparently tomorrow we're supposed to be getting snow.
Yeah.
It's a no from me.
I'm over it.
The absolute worst. Yeah. But hopefully, like, I'm hoping that at least by the middle of May we'll get some more sun and like we'll finally come out of all of this like snow and cold.
That's true. They do say April showers brings May flowers. So I guess that makes sense for it to be raining. But snow though, like, are you kidding me?
We can leave that at home.
Yeah.
Can we call hello?
Yeah.
For the Canadians, man, because that's where all the snow's coming from.
Literally, keep it up there. Keep it up there,
please. Across the bridge.
Oh man. I think something that really gets me in the mood for summer are all the Avengers movies, like the Marvel movies that are coming out. Like I grew up loving the comics and like really sort of getting into it. I think my gateway into that was X-Men.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say because like I mean you have Halle Berry, you got James Marsden who is
Hugh Jackman.
Oh my gosh, like the whole crew, like they're just all so good. And the guy that plays Professor Xavier.
Patrick Stewart.
Stewart.
Sir Patrick
Mhm.
Stewart,
Yeah.
my homeboy.
Yeah, and like I whenever I watch movies, like I love to see the behind the scenes stuff because I like to see the actors, because seeing the actors' personalities helps me connect to the character that they're playing
Okay,
more for some
right.
reason. And all of them have such big personalities, and like they're really cool and like chill, like seemingly in their interviews. So like seeing that really got me connected to it. And then as more of the like MCU movies came out, like Iron Man, Captain America, all that good stuff, it really like I would just always be like, okay, May, June, and July are coming.
Right.
We got some Marvel movies
Yes.
coming out, you know.
Yeah.
I just went to go see Endgame with some friends of mine yesterday.
Everyone is talking about that right
no
now.
spoilers.
My gosh.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, no spoilers, I promise. But it's one of those things where like as soon as tickets dropped, or as soon as we found out when tickets were gonna drop, I was like, okay, that'll be the mark of summer. Like that's when like the relaxation period finally starts for
That's
me.
so true.
Yeah.
And it kind of is when you think about it. Even if you're not in college, that's definitely like when everything starts. Because if you're not in college, everyone is coming back from college.
Right.
9 times out of 10, your family and your friends are coming. You know what I'm saying? That is kind of like the marker for everything to like kickstart.
Yeah, and like whenever I think about going to the movies and going to go see Marvel movies, but really any movies over the summer, like typically, even though we have like really, really cold winters, like typically summers can get pretty hot, like depending on the season, you know? So I just remember like us coming into the movie theater to escape the heat and being like, okay, I need a Slurpee.
Yes.
I need the air conditioning,
Yes,
you know?
that's so true. Oh
You
my
know?
God, I remember that. Yes, I know that feeling.
Honestly, so it always, like whenever I think about going to go see one of those movies, especially since like they typically come out, like Spider-Man is coming out in July, and like
wow.
yeah, and like
Okay, it's my birthday month.
oh, you know, hey,
Right.
so I'm really excited to go see, you know, all of these movies, but it always gets me in the mood for summer, because whenever like they come out, it typically tends to fall around in the season. So yeah,
That's true.
man, oh man.
I think they do that strategically.
Oh,
You know,
totally.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would say, especially with like the way that they like space things out a little bit too. Like having Captain Marvel last year. Well, I guess it's last year now.
I haven't even
That's
seen
wild.
that yet.
Oh,
so good.
It's so
I was
good.
like, it's always one after another. I'm like,
Yeah,
chill out.
they keep coming out like back to back to
Yeah.
back. But I mean, it was for good reason though. Like Captain Marvel, you have to know a little bit about her like before going into this movie for Endgame. So like it came out like the
It's
right
very
time.
sequential, it seems
Exactly.
like, yeah.
And it's very well thought out. Like I can really respect that. Like in movies, and like Kevin Feige, I think he's like the director of Marvel or something like that. Or
Yeah.
like he's basically like had this whole like saga going.
Wow.
And how he's been able to like interweave some of these stories that like seem like they shouldn't be able to fit at all. Like it's just so wild to me, and Endgame is like a good, you know, cap on everything,
Right.
I think, because like
Cap.
so I can just really respect that too, and it just makes me love it even more knowing the work that was put into it to make it what it should be for fans.
Now, is this
So,
in
yeah.
DC? Because, you know, there's always seems like there's some rivalry between DC Comics and Marvel Comics, and even with the fans, like, you know what I mean? I've never really gotten into that. That's not really my world enough to be like, DC or Marvel. I just couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But there is people that are like, no, I'm a diehard DC fan, or I'm a diehard Marvel fan, or this and that. So I love them both. I just like to watch movies.
Yeah, I would say I love them both too. I think I grew up on. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think too. I grew up on DC.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say, and because like they were so ingrained into like my childhood stuff. Like there were Teen Titans, Justice League,
Yes.
Legion of
Yes.
Superheroes,
Yeah.
Batman. Like
Yeah.
all of these really, really like. I mean, and you have the Dark Knight Rises with like Heath
my
Ledger,
Christian
Christian
Bale.
Bale,
Oh my
like
God.
you know. So like you have all of these really great movies, and then the MCU comes out and they have Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett
Right.
Johansson and all of these really cool people, you know. And now like they've introduced a whole new generation to it. Like it's just so wild, and I think that there is like a huge rivalry like about it. Like I lean a little more towards Marvel nowadays,
I agree.
and my brother, like he is like DC all the way. I
Right.
don't care what anybody else
death.
is. Literally, like we went to go see Shazam, which is like a new DC movie that just
Oh, I
came
want to
out.
see that one.
It's so good. Like I think DC is starting to find their rhythm with movies, you know, which I think they were trying to to move too far away from what Marvel was doing, not realizing that they kind of had to lean into more of like their characters' personalities and not necessarily the world that they're living in.
That's true.
But Shazam was so funny.
Now, what is that about?
So this kid, right? His name is Billy. He is kind of a troublemaker. He's a foster kid. Like he was left by his mom, you know, and he thinks that he's lost. Like his mom just lost him and hasn't been able to find him in foster care.
Okay.
So he's trying to find her. And in the midst of this, he gets called on by this like all-powerful wizard named Shazam. And this wizard has to choose a champion or else all his powers are going to go to waste and like evil will come through the world, basically. So he chooses Billy as his champion. Like, you're the last person that I have, you know, to give these powers to.
So Billy's supposed to come in and save him.
Yeah, literally. So he comes in and like as soon as he says Shazam, he goes from this like 12, 13-year-old, maybe 14-year-old kid to like this grown man who's who has all these powers and like is, you know, kicking butts, taking names, you know.
Maybe I need to try saying Shazam.
Right? Come finals week, Shazam.
Yes,
Pop on up.
seriously.
And it was just so good. And he, it's a lot about family too. Like he has to get to know his foster family a little more and like actually learn to trust them and like all this other stuff. And I mean, there's this obviously like all evil villain, you know, that's coming in to try to thwart all this stuff.
Right.
But like, you know, as always, you know, when isn't there evil?
Right.
But yeah, it was just a really funny movie. And my brother walked out like, I told you it was going to be a good movie. And I was like, I never said it wasn't. But he is just like, I will defend DC to the death, you know?
Yeah, those are those diehard fans.
Literally. Oh,
I mean,
man.
I'm a little bit apprehensive about Shazam because, and don't get me wrong, I love Zachary Levi, but all I can think of when I see that preview, I'm like, hey, look, it's Flynn Rider.
Right? Yeah, because he played Flynn Rider in Tangled, right? In Rapunzel.
Yeah.
And he has a beautiful voice. He was
does.
also on Broadway too.
Yeah.
That's where I know all these people. Have you seen the show Chuck?
No.
It's another kind of like spy movie, but Zachary Levi was also from that show as well.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I would say it's worth looking up. He accidentally gets like this microchip implanted in him. Yeah, like they didn't mean to put it in him, like, but they did. So now he's got like all this information running around in his head, but he's the only one that has it. So the spy has to come in and like protect him.
It sounds like some Black Mirror type of stuff. You know, those crazy, wild episodes that they have. Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah, but it's definitely more comedic though.
Okay.
Like he's just a normal office worker. Okay. And then like this happens to him, and he's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. So this spy has to come in and be like, okay, I gotta protect you. So yeah. So it's really good. But like, I mean, he's done so much of that. When I saw Tangled, when I saw Zachary Levi in Tangled, I was like, there's Chuck, you know. So, but now like, I mean, there was a moment definitely when I was listening to his voice and I was like, if he broke out into song right now, I don't think anybody would be mad, you know? So, man, oh man. But it was a really good movie though. I think, you know, you do have some of those diehard rivalries, but I think when you really just take time to enjoy the movies and like on a summer day, and perhaps, you know, right. You know, and just take some time to just enjoy some of the stuff. Like my favorite part of any movie is the music and like, when you have good music going, when you got a good soundtrack, when you got actors that are doing justice to the characters that they're playing, like, you can't beat it.
That's so true. The music helps to like set the scene. You know what I'm saying? Whether the scene is sad or happy, or if you're going, is it challenging, or you're going trying to overcome an obstacle? Like what can I like in The Pursuit of Happiness, or even in 2012 when the scene of the woman, she was drowning in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that kind of helps you to feel something.
Yeah.
So
I can already see that scene in my head.
Yeah. See, right? Yeah,
man, oh man, and it just tugs at your heartstrings too. Like it's like that extra boost. Like, okay, in case you weren't already sad because this actor is crying now, literally, we're gonna really make you cry.
Right. How I feel every time I watch the end of Infinity War. It starts with it's like
it is sad.
Yeah, it's like, you just get to the music and I kind of already feel it in my stomach. I'm like, I already know what's coming, but I'm already starting to get upset.
That's true.
And when the ending happens, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But like the ending happens, I'm sitting there crying. I'm just like, you're gonna make me cry more, are you?
Right.
Like, so I'm sitting there, tears running down my face, and I'm just like, give me the tissues. And that's exactly how I'm gonna feel when I go see Endgame when I go home. Because like I tweeted on Twitter and I said, if I am crying this hard watching Infinity War for a second time, I'm probably gonna bawl my eyes out for Endgame. I swear to God.
Right.
Oh
Right.
man, oh man.
What was that movie with? I can't think of it, but the girl who played in Twilight, her real name is
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Okay, so Kristen Stewart was in another film a few years ago, and it was like a fantasy fiction type of film. I can't remember the name of it. Something
Was it
like
The Huntsman?
The Huntsman.
Yeah.
Snow White and Huntsman.
Yes. Yeah. So there was a scene where, sorry if you haven't seen it, but there was a scene where the unicorn died, and my brother and I went to go see it, and this girl behind, like 2 rows behind us, I'm talking about like bawling. I'm like, oh my God. So then the scene ended, and went on, the movie progressed, and she was still crying, and I'm like, oh my God, like this really hurt you. Like this was sitting deep. So
oh my goodness, yeah, like her childhood dreams just like
shattered
falling away, literally. Not the unicorn, not the unicorn.
Yeah, I felt so bad. I'm like, oh. But yeah, that's kind of like the reaction that some people can have when you brought up Infinity Wars. I'm like, that reminded me of that.
Yeah, I just literally like I was just sitting there and I'm watching everything happen, and then my favorite character disappeared, and I'm just like, no,
right?
Why?
It was really quiet, and I'm just sitting there, I'm crying, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember when I went to go see Infinity War in theaters with a friend of mine. Another character disappears as well, and the theater was like full of people. It's like opening day, everyone that's in there is a fan. And as that person disappeared, this one guy in the crowd was like, y'all got me messed up.
I'm dead.
It was so funny. And it sort of like broke the tension a little bit with everyone. Right. Because like all of us were just kind of like, wait, what's happening?
Right.
What's happening?
It does take that one person in the crowd to kind of be like, yeah, I agree.
Literally. And it was the funniest thing. And then as soon as that happened, the mood immediately changed to like even more sad because it just started happening more and more and more. And we were like, oh no. But like it pulls that reaction from you, and that's how you know it's a good movie. Like when it's like, okay, we got you, hook, line, and sinker. Man, oh man,
you want to feel like it's your reality, like you're in the movie. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely, you can tell it's because you don't want to watch a movie and just sit there like eating popcorn.
I could care less.
Like it's not a good movie. It's not captivating. You want to be pulled and reeled in. It's kind of like when your professor tells you to write a hook for an essay or something. You want it to captivate people, like, oh, I want to read more. And it's like, if you don't get me within the first 30 seconds, it's kind of like,
right, like, well, it is what it is. Right? And that's the tea on that.
Right.
That's how I feel when I go see movies with my dad. Because like I remember I took my dad to go see John Wick Chapter 2, because that's like one of our favorite movies. And we're sitting there. I had gotten popcorn and I put it on the floor. I didn't touch it for the rest of the movie. And there was this one part, he kind of broke my attention. He leans over to me, he says, how many bodies have you counted? I'm at about 30. And I'm like, dude, I'm at 40. What are you doing?
and you go to like to completely invest and to just suspend your disbelief. Like one of my pet peeves, like when I'm watching a movie, is like if someone is leaning over, like if it's the first time that we're going to go see the movie, like if it's the second or third time that we're watching it and like we have questions, but if it's the first time, I'm literally just trying to follow along what's happening.
Bro, leave me alone.
Literally,
like, I don't know what's going on. I'm watching it just like you.
Right. If someone leans over, it's like, okay, well, now what's happening? I'm like,
bro,
still talking.
Get out.
Literally, like you got one time and one time only.
Yes, I hate that. Stuff like a shield to be like, you asked you one question.
Right. You just like lift up the whole partition.
Okay, I'll stay over there.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. That's all the time we have. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, I would say this was so much fun. I love being able to talk about all this stuff and to just be able to sort of finish out this year, on this kind of high note. So we'll be continuing this next semester. So if you want to join us then, you can see us then. That's all the time we have. I'm Christina Andrade. This will be my last time doing this podcast, so I'll be signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.